Hi, welcome to the Diane Ingram Show. I'm your host, life coach Diane Ingram. Today we're going to be talking with Tim McAllister, TV producer. Tim has set some goals for himself, and we're going to be exploring how those are going for him. We're doing a follow-up with him today. When we set goals for ourselves, there is a process called the cycle of productivity. It begins with an idea. We take action on that idea, and then we complete that idea. And there's actually a fourth piece of that, which is called celebration and acknowledgement. We often forget that piece, and we go right back into creating a new idea, taking action, completing. New idea, taking action, completing. And what sometimes results from that, if we don't give ourselves the time to celebrate and acknowledge, is burnout. It's really important to take the time to say, how did that project go for me? What did I learn from that? A great way to evaluate, a simple, non-critical way to evaluate is what went well, what would I like to do better next time? So we'll be talking to Tim about these things when we see him in a few minutes, but think about your own projects. And do you take the time to celebrate and enjoy what you've accomplished? To evaluate what went well, what could go better. Setting goals for ourselves is a great way to stay in touch with what do we want to happen in our lives and to really focus on that. If we don't set goals, then life can kind of meander a little bit and we can find ourselves years down the road not having accomplished any of the things we want to accomplish in our lives. When we set goals for ourselves, it's an opportunity to kind of check in and see what's important to me, what do I want to create in my life. We can pull out the calendar, find time on the calendar to start beginning to work on those goals. We can also find what the steps are to complete those goals, where to begin, what's the middle part, and what's the ending. And remember, when it comes to goals, it's really important to celebrate. Celebrate in a healthy way that's going to make you feel better about what you've accomplished. Because I'm sure you're doing a lot in your life, and it's worth celebrating. So stay tuned, we're going to be talking with Tim now. Hi, welcome back to the Diane Ingram Show. I'm your host, Diane Ingram. And today we're with Tim McAllister. Tim has been on the show a month ago, and Tim committed to certain things. Welcome, Tim. Good to be with you again. So last time we were together, you committed to, in this month, create 6 health and wellness shows here at Comcast. So how'd it go?
I almost made it. I was able to complete 5 shows, and when I get my 6th one done, which I expect next week, I'll be able to put them on the air and show them on television.
Wonderful. That's very exciting. So I'd like to ask, first off, what did you have to do personally in order to make this happen? Was there any kind of things that were in the way of that, or?
It's been a very slow process. Years ago I decided I wanted to do this, and I've been working here at the studio, and I have a lot of good help because the other people who work here are really committed to getting shows on the air. So in that way, it was easy. For me, when I was younger, it was harder for me to go out and talk to people and get people to do things, but now it's not so hard, and I can't tell you why. But
I want to ask you, come on.
I
what do
don't
you
know.
think has shifted that's made it easier for you to do that?
Maybe I've become less self-conscious about myself, or just more confident in the way I present myself. I don't know exactly what it is, but I have no trouble going out and asking people if they would like to do it, and I don't take no as a personal rejection.
So what do you think it is? I mean, sometimes when we have successes in life, we can build on those. Do you think it's because you've had a fairly successful life, or you've experienced positive responses when you've made requests, or what do you think that is?
Just let's take my show, for example. I want to do health and fitness, nutrition. I'm interested in yoga. I've started doing it a few months ago, And in order to maybe teach myself and teach other people, I've decided to focus on that for now. And I've also found that it's something that's very easy to videotape. There is action, so people are moving generally, but there isn't the action that you have to go out and follow people around. It's something I've been able to do here in the studio. And it turns out, in talking to people, that a lot of people are interested in doing it. So if I ask somebody and they're not interested in doing it, then that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But there are many other people who are interested in doing it. And it's been very easy. Like I said, the people here record it just like they're recording this show. I mean, it's really a blessing to to have this, to know what I want to do and to be able to do it.
So what was your interest in yoga? You do it personally now?
I do.
Yeah?
I'm not great at it or experienced at it, but
Do you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah, in what way do you think it?
Well, for me, it's not so much physical. I've always worked out doing this or that. It's more learning to control yourself in the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to control yourself and relate to other people, and then eventually mostly relate to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting into yoga these days. It used to be more of a fringe thing that some people did, but it seems like a lot of people are using it now.
Well, I think people thought that it was somehow religious.
Mm-hmm.
And it really isn't one religion or another. You could be any religion and do it.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a little chanting sometimes that goes on, and that might make people hesitant. But once they do it, then they realize they're not committing to any type of religion or anything like that. It's basically a system to help you help yourself, and that's what I'm trying to do with my shows. The last show we did was chair yoga.
Oh.
Which was for people who don't have the mobility, whether through disability or through age or whatever. They just don't have the ability to get up and down constantly. So you could do it right in the chair. You can stretch your upper body. And then when they want to stretch their lower body, they got up and they stood behind the chair and they used the chair as support. And I didn't know anything about it until I videotaped the show.
Wow.
So it was great for me to learn about it as I'm, fulfilling this wish that I want for myself.
Very nice. Yeah, I've heard that people even with arthritis, yoga can help them. And my experience is that flexibility is the key to youth, because I think as we get older, what we do is we get stiff, and yoga helps to keep that. Even if you've lost some of that flexibility, you can bring it back with yoga. So it's a really cool thing, and it's wonderful that you're introducing it to the public in this way.
And I don't plan on just sticking with yoga. I would like to do all kinds of exercises, weightlifting and running, and like I said, nutrition. I've been trying to figure out how to get, a cooking show, and I don't think it's going to be actual cooking here at the studio, because I would like to continue using the studio. It's fast and easy. I think what it would be preparing. People would prepare at home, maybe take photos of themselves preparing nutritious food, whether it's vegetarian or vegan or gluten-free or whatever type of preparation, and then come in here and talk about it. And then what I would do is, edit that into the program somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Either live, like we're doing today,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe we'll edit the program.
Yeah, I think we're even going to see some clips of some of your yoga shows during our talk here this morning.
We may have seen them already.
Yeah, okay. So what is the benefit to you to do this for the public?
I think anytime people are helping other people, it's a benefit to them. So it's really something that I want to do, though. I mean, I'm doing it for myself.
In what way?
I guess when I retired, I sat down and thought of different things that I could do, whether it be green energy or, going back into some type of other field. And I decided on videotape. And the reason I did it was because I thought that I would be able to do anything, anywhere, at any time. So if you're videotaping, you can videotape anything and anywhere, and actually it could be your job. Physical fitness is what I like and what I've been interested in and what I want for myself. And that's why I went into the physical fit. That's why I'm going into it. I can always change.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to change.
So you feel like the videotaping is a good vehicle to get your message out there, is that right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not that I'm a preacher and that I'm, you know, worried if people, you know, flip me off on the dial. You know, if they turn to something else, they turn to something else. I'm really not concerned about it. Like I said, I'm mostly doing it for myself, but I'm also interested in doing some type of comedy thing.
Oh, fun.
Which we don't do here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't do anything like that.
You mean you haven't done it yet?
All we do is talk shows and interviews mostly. Last night we taped a musical trio.
Oh, nice.
And I could see doing bands or something like that. So I'm interested in all types of stuff, but for now I'll stick with the physical fitness.
So what does it bring you to produce these different kinds of shows and to be working with videotape and to be talking about health and fitness? What kind of qualities do you think does that enhance your life with? Like, it sounds like it's fun, for instance.
It is fun. It's challenging, and we're not doing it commercially, so there's no timeline. There's no rush to get things done because we're losing money or we have to get it on the air. It's very relaxed, and if you don't want to play something, you don't have to play it. So it's not like you spent $100,000 to produce something and now you have to play it whether you like it or not, or else you have to go back and spend another $100,000 to fix it. It's not like that. So if I don't like it, I just won't play it.
So you have some freedom there,
and
it
also
sounds like.
if the people don't like it, like if I videotaped somebody and they said that they didn't want it played, I probably would stop playing it. But that hasn't happened yet.
So tell me about some of the people who came in to do these shows. Where did you find them?
The first lady I got from, actually it was one of the classes, maybe in the class that you took.
I don't remember.
She came in and did yoga with CPR Dave. And what happened was I took the tape and we recorded over her segment. So she was never able to see her segment. So she wasn't really happy about that. I wasn't happy about it either. So she came back and did 2 more shows, and that was my first 2 shows. The next 2 was somebody who came to the open house we had just a few weeks ago, since I've spoken to you. We had an open house, and the lady came in. She was interested in video. She didn't know what she wanted to do. She was going to Florida in a couple of weeks, so she couldn't take a class. But she said that she did this chair yoga. And I suggested to her, why don't we do a show together? You know, she and I could do a show, and she agreed, and within about a week we had done 2 shows.
Wow.
So it worked out great.
Oftentimes when we put this desire out there, this goal, and we're really clear about what we want, it seems like the universe kind of conspires to support us.
Well, yesterday here at the studio, I just got a call from another yoga instructor who spoke to one of them. I'm not sure who she spoke to because I haven't called her yet. And she left a message that she wants to do shows too.
Very nice. So there goes your 6th show.
Yeah, the opportunity is there. You just have to, I think a lot of it's not being afraid of failing. And I think because I've gone so slow and I'm not financially dependent upon this, it's easy for me to go slow, and it's easier for me to do what I want to do to have fun.
Yeah, and it's not a big risk. Like you said, there's not a big money setting on it or, you know, people breathing down your neck. It's kind of free and easy.
And it's not like I'm starting out new in my career and I have to not make any mistakes also. So if I was not able to make mistakes because I wasn't going to get hired by a studio or something, then there would be a lot more pressure on me, and I just don't have that pressure now.
Sure. So what is your hope that these shows will do, that people will watch these shows and leave with?
Well, right now I'm just doing yoga, and I don't think everyone is going to, take yoga. I would recommend it to people. Anybody can do it. And the last show we had was people doing chair yoga, so really anybody could do it. But once I get into health and fitness and nutrition, I think it's going to be something for all the public, whether you do work out or whether you've let yourself go and you'd like to work out, or whether you don't really think too much about it. So I'd like to just put it there in front of people. And I know there are other shows on that are doing it, but I'd like to just put it out there, and maybe people will watch. Maybe they'll get some tips about how they can do stuff locally. I've talked to a nutritionist who's local here, and she's willing to come on and do shows. I just have to organize it. So it's basically to help local people.
So you're hoping that they'll maybe be inspired by it?
I hope so. I hope
Maybe
so.
learn some things?
Yeah, I don't think inspiration is the word I'd use, because I think that it's slower than that. I don't think you're going to get inspired and have all of a sudden you're going to start working out. Unless you've had a heart attack, or, they've come back with these incredible numbers on your diabetes or something, but I think it's going to be a slow thing. And it's just another thing to put out there to help people.
Wonderful. So are you willing to come back at some time in the future and let us know how it's going?
Sure.
Is there any new commitment that you'd like to make, or do you want to stick with your 6 shows? What would you like to do?
Well, I'm almost at 6. So I guess I could, just to spur me forward a little bit. I won't put any time frame on it.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to start videotaping with my iPod Touch, and I'd like to put it on the internet. Maybe put it on Channel 8 also, but I would like to start doing that just as another avenue.
Okay. And the idea of
getting the
using
word out.
that is to be able to be on location?
Just different technology
Okay.
to try to make it easy.
Okay.
Try to make it easy for myself and easy for other people.
Okay.
All the smartphones have cameras and video cameras now. Any little photo camera has video on it now. So
Okay.
I just like to make it easy.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to following up with you in some bit of time. No time pressure, but just to see how you're doing with that.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure, Tim. Thanks
All
so
right.
much for coming on
Thanks.
the show. This is the creative expression part of my show, and what I would like to talk about today is ways to kind of help support you in getting to your goals. One of the ways I like to do it, which is really fun for me, is to collage. And collaging is simple as finding pictures you like in magazines and putting them on a board. So what I'd like to do is show you how I do that, and you can do it your own way. I have a couple magazines here. One of my favorites is Cruising World. I love sailing, and then I love Oprah, and she has all kinds of different photos in here. So when I find a photo that I like, something that just speaks to me, and I don't give a whole lot of thought. It's really nice when you're doing this to not spend a whole lot of time thinking, what is it I'm looking, just allow your intuitive self to kind of call to you. I just found something when I opened this magazine, which is this, and a beautiful dress. It's gold, it's a nice color, and I'm not going to analyze what that's about. I'm just going to say, I kind of like that. So I tear it up, and it's fun to tear for me. Some people like to cut, but I kind of like the fun way of just tearing a piece. So there you go. And then I have a board. I've worked with large boards. This one's a little smaller, so you can choose what size you'd like to begin with. Sometimes smaller is a little less intimidating to fill if you are feeling a little uneasy or uncomfortable about the process. And then just get a glue stick. That's the best thing to use, and pop it on. And you can see these are a couple examples of ones that I've made. And they have just a lot of the things on there that called to me when I went through some of my favorite magazines. On this one, it's got play. That's something I have to sometimes remind myself to do. And then a lot of outdoor scenes, some sailing, dancing. I love dancing and movement. So that really speaks to me when I hang it on the wall. And it reminds me that one of my goals is to spend more time playing. On this one, as a singer and a TV person here and a musician, those are parts of it. I have some words up here, so if you find a phrase that speaks to you, that's kind of fun. This is Make a Difference, Transforming Lives. That's something that I get a lot of value out of in my life. And just a beautiful setting in a house here that called to me. So I hang these up, and it reminds me of the things that are important to me and the things that I want to be going for in my life. Sometimes it's interesting to find magazines that you don't normally look at. You can get together with friends even and exchange magazines, and then you find new images that you haven't been looking at that call to you. It's just a great way to open up your creativity, encourage your intuition to speak to you, and to have fun. It's also a great way to keep you on track with your goals. You can even have collage parties. Sometimes they call them treasure maps. I've heard people call them that. But collage parties, getting together with your friends, having everyone bring 3 magazines, sitting around, having a little food and drink, and just ripping things out of magazines and putting together. Then you can go around the room afterwards and have everybody talk about what's on their collage and what they discovered about themselves in the process. That's just a fun way to connect with your friends and also to learn more about yourself. Thank you. So today we've talked about goals. We've talked with Tim about his goals, and he's been very successful in some of his goals and is beginning to set new goals. Once we reach our goals, it doesn't have to be the end of the road. There's always a new horizon for us. We talked about collaging and ways to bring more fun things in. You might even explore ways that you would like to remind yourself of your goals. Sometimes it's a little memento, something that reminds you of something you're going for, a little sculpture or something. Collaging is fun too, so try it. Over this next time period, before we meet again, think about what goals do you have in your life? Is it time to set new goals? And how can you remind yourself of the fun of having goals and what it is you want to do next? Try some collaging. Try to bring some creativity into it. When we bring creativity into our lives, it speaks to that unconscious, that subconscious part of ourselves. It inspires our intuition, and it lightens up our life. That's play right there. Oftentimes we work a little too hard in our lives and in our culture. Play inspires us, greases the gears, keeps us feeling light and enjoying life. So combining goals and play is a great way to experience your life. And one more thing, remember to celebrate. Whenever you accomplish what it is you're going after, make sure you make time to celebrate. So you've been watching the Diane Ingram Show today. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time when we have other guests on who are going for goals and various things in their lives. And hopefully you can find some inspiration and learn some things by watching this. Until next time.